Hello, I'm Chris Rogers. An impressively long time ago, the Greek philosopher Plato wrote his most famous and probably most influential work, The Republic. It explores the concepts of city-states and how they're best organized, amongst a huge number of other topics, and still has a significant impact in philosophical circles. Of course, then, it's the perfect subject for a lighthearted card game about a post-apocalyptic human society that worships engineers and mechanics. Someone must have thought so, at least, because we have Plato 3000. Plato 3000 is a card game based on the seminal classic Rummy, consisting of a deck of cards that represent different occupations, leftover technology that barely functions, and theories about how the world works, or at least how it should. These cards are split into colors and point values which stand out well against one another, and the artwork is strange and cartoonish but well imagined, with overly complicated machinery that looks pieced together from garbage and wrecked vehicles exactly like you would expect after an apocalypse. As it is strongly influenced by Rummy, the core of the game is about drawing cards and collecting sets that will be worth points when the hand is over. Players take turns searching through the deck for the perfect cards that will let them go out and leave their opponents with handfuls of points that will count negatively. There are a number of games that use this basic idea, in particular the Mystery Rummy series, and each of them has some twists that make it more than just Rummy with different suits. The twist in Plato 3000 is that each meld of cards can provide the player with a special ability that can tremendously alter the way the game is played. Melds of farmers give you extra cards when you draw. Melds of soldiers let you force your opponents to discard cards from their melds. And enough historians will allow you to search through the discard piles of the game to find exactly the card you want without having to pick up more garbage. Although the game is mostly just an abstracted set collection exercise, these job abilities provide some engaging and surprisingly thematic elements. And because you will end up with multiple melds during a given hand, you'll often have combinations of jobs that will make a major difference in how well you can play. Imagine being able to draw 3 cards and keep any 2 of them in regular Rummy, or only needing 2 cards to make a set instead of 3. Your opponent would be quickly outmatched. That said, the game has a significant problem. It's boring to play. Yes, there are special abilities to take into account, but because it's based around Rummy, you can't really aim to acquire specific abilities, and you're left simply manipulating the ones you manage to get in your random draws. And because the number of different job abilities is small, there isn't a lot of variety from hand to hand. There simply isn't room to explore combinations of special abilities. To make things worse, most if not all of the combos are outlined in the rules, so even if you might have fun discovering them as part of play, you'll find that they've already been clearly explained. Plato 3000 has some mechanics that I feel are genuine, if relatively minor innovations. The research rule, in which you draw 2 cards and keep only 1, placing the other in a second discard pile, means that there are some mildly interesting decisions when it comes to finding the cards that you want or discarding the ones that your opponent may want. There's also the interesting idea of wild cards that can be used to complete melds, but count strongly against your score unless you can get a job ability that negates that penalty. But overall, the game just falls flat. Interesting decisions are at a minimum, and there's no real reward for understanding how to combine the special abilities that just kind of fall into your lap as the game is played. I wanted to like the game due to the goofy look and portability. My wife and I love Mystery Rummy. But despite Plato 3000's minimally innovative ideas, the dull and predictable play experience pushes it down to a 4 out of 10. Not so good. It doesn't grab me, but I could be talked into it on occasion.